still let people join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hit go live. I gotta remember to turn it down.
I could check on mine real quick just to make sure you can hear us in the background.
Okay, that's a good idea. Tuesday night they have bagpipe practice.
Oh,
You hear them?
that's cool. Now it's live.
You serious?
Wow.
I don't know what.
Okay. So go to Twitter. So you've got it going.
Well, I mean, I guess. Let me look. Yeah, look over there. Stop stream. Studio mode. Didn't I have to do something over here? Video capture. It's not showing anything. I'll tell you what. Let me go here. Do this. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Says live.
Okay. Okay, I can see us there. Let me share it.
I can hear.
Okay.
You typing.
Rid of that.
Oh, that's really on the delay.
I know it.
But which one do we want to watch?
That
When
one.
we're talking.
Oh. I would say this one.
Yeah. No, I mean as far as either that or the other app or the Periscope.
Let me see.
Yeah, so you got the volume down, right?
Yeah.
So I can hear you on this. So
Okay.
that's good. There's two other people on there.
But if I'm on this screen, I can't see people's comments. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, stay on the Periscope.
Unless I scoot this over. There's the comments right there.
Oh, you can see it?
Right there. If there's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, cool. So now this is live. We're seeing it
Right.
for us.
Millie, come here. Get over here.
I can't stand it. It won't correct. It'll correct stuff that I don't need correcting.
I know, and then it won't.
Correct when
I know what you
need
mean.
to. I'm just on mine. I'm just going to do Ides and May episode 3. Episode 3. I'm just going to hard work.
Okay. This is where I can share.
We need to get some better technology for us.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just learn how to use it better. Come here. Okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and get started. And
Oh.
No,
in the
but I wonder on the Periscope you're going to see this and not this.
Well, I've got one.
Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and get started. Oh, I see who that is. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third edition of our March of Ides. It's a Periscope that we started on the Ides of March and this past March, mainly to talk about all the great things that are happening with Trump that our mainstream media refuses to talk about, and the synchronicity of events that are happening today that I think when you look back in history, it's interesting to look back and see what happened on the Ides back in history. And we like to think that Trump, like he is doing America, making America great again, he's making the Ides great again. And every month has an Ides, and doesn't always fall on the 15th, but this month it does. And so the first part, we're gonna talk about some events in history that happened on the 15th of May, and then talk about all the good news that the mainstream media refuses to report, or if they do, they kind of minimize and downplay it. So Lou, this is Lou. First of all, I'm Yvonne Burton. You can follow me at _ Yvonne Burton on Twitter, and Lou is
Lewis Everett 3 at Lewis Everett 3.
All right, so Lou's going to go ahead and just talk about some things that have happened in the past, and in light of what's going on in Israel, it's kind of interesting.
Well, this is a pretty big Ides for us this time around. First of all, we started back in March with this because the Ides of March were not signs of doom. The Ides were not signs of doom until Shakespeare wrote his great play way back when. So we wanted to put out that, kind of tie in with how Trump is making America great again, that the Ides are not a bad time. The Ides used to be celebrated, especially the March of Ides. The Ides of March. The Ides of March was the new year for the Romans. It was a big celebration, a time of renewal and planting and things like that. So now we're back in the third episode, in our third month of our new year with Trump, even though he was elected a year and a half ago. But some decent things that happened, or not decent, but some things that kind of tie into what's going on today. As we all know, the U.S. Embassy opened in Jerusalem yesterday, which is a really awesome thing, promised by many presidents before and finally followed up on by Donald Trump. But also yesterday was Israel's Independence Day, when they declared independence in 1948. And today is the anniversary of all these Arab armies attacking the new state of Israel and trying to destroy them on their just becoming a country. Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all these people attacked Israel right after them declaring independence because they wanted them wiped off the map. So this has been this whole, if Trump can fix that too, like he's doing North Korea, boy, would that be some kind of feat? Because he's already done some amazing things and he's still got plenty of time to go. And looking back on the Ides of May, also in 1974, a Palestinian terrorist at the I think it's the Eilat massacre, killed 25 people, mostly children, and injured over 100. So that's another continuing thing that's been going on for decades over there, and why they've got their wall to protect themselves, and we need a wall too here.
Yeah.
Just a couple other small things. The cornerstone for the Cologne Cathedral was set in 1248, and that was a pretty decent thing. But we know where the Dow Jones has been since Trump was elected, not just since he took office, but the optimism in the country and the market since he's been elected, even during when he was president-elect. The Dow Jones today, I don't know where it closed at today, but it's in the I know that it's in positive territory for the year again after all the swings it's had the last few months. But the Dow Jones was at 2822 on this day in 1990. So there's a lot of good things that's going on out there, and we kind of want to jump into what Trump has been doing now, and things that how it ties into what's happened in the past. And I think Israel is a big part of what's
I think
happening
it's
now.
the biggest. I mean, with him opening up the U.S. embassy in Jerusalem. I mean, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Obama. I don't know about Reagan. I think that they first passed something back with Clinton.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe George Bush Sr. I don't know.
It could be.
I think it was in the 90s. But none of these, all of these people ran on a platform that they would open Israel's embassy in Jerusalem, and none of them had the courage to do it. And looking at all the people who are upset about it and crying about it, he definitely did the right thing. We know he did the right thing anyway, but all the right people are outraged.
And actually, you could say that all the right people are outraged at everything he's doing, which tells us he's on the right track.
All right, and the left, and I don't know who put these terrorists up to staging this, display at the Gaza. Is the Gaza border? At
Gaza,
the,
yeah.
Where the mainstream media reports it like it's Trump's fault.
A peaceful
for
protest, and
moving
now the Israelis are shooting at peaceful protesters. And
right.
The Israelis don't do that. There's a lot of Arabs living in Israel that are very prosperous, and they're citizens of Israel, and they're allowed to vote. I mean, they have full rights as citizens of Israel, and they're doing just fine over there. So
right.
It's the Israelis that are not allowed in the Middle East.
Well, you can just tell the coverage of it is skewed by the way the mainstream media, they're first and foremost they have that baby, the 8-month-old baby that was killed. But what kind of mom takes her baby to an area where there's grenades and Molotov cocktails?
I saw Laura Loomer point that out. How can it's just like somebody was talking about back when Bush had one of his debates running for president, and Sally Field at some kind of one of the awards, she went off about President Bush, and he hates.
Because she was in that movie that about the women's right. It was some feminist. She did something great, and she played a role in the movie, and then she. But
then she had this acceptance speech on getting an award, and said something about if women were running the world, it would all be peaceful. And I don't know why, but I hardly ever watch the Academy Awards, but I actually saw that, and I just was screaming at the screen going, but there are women who strap bombs to their babies and send them to blow people up.
Has she heard of the Nexium sex cult that was just busted? And Allison Mack, Hollywood, actress who's the one that was procuring young girls. Yeah, they would be so much more peaceful. But with that, watching all that happen, and man, it's just amazing, and to see all of the support for Trump in Israel that you don't even see here.
Oh, right? I know, and he's got. But there, you don't see it here because it's not shown. But I know.
Right, and you're not going to see it on CNN. But Laura Loomer did a Periscope where she went to that guy's shop where was it a yarmulke that said they were MAGA, and Laura Loomer did a great job of showing how much Israel really does support us. But you wouldn't see that on CNN. They're too busy putting Trump in the crosshairs in a photo and then denying it. But,
yeah.
But anyway, with what's going on with Israel, with last week, it's hard to believe that it was just a few days ago, actually, that the North Korean hostages were freed.
Right after withdrawing from the Iran deal. And right as he was withdrawing from the Iran deal, huge. And all the major media said, oh, this is going to make it really hard to negotiate with North Korea now.
Well, remember when he first started tweeting and everybody was talking about, oh my gosh, nuclear war, and then they saw that wasn't going to happen, so they changed their tune.
Mm-hmm. Just like they did with Reagan.
And it doesn't matter what he does. Okay, North and South Korea's, we're on the brink of perhaps them being reunited, and they still can't even paint that.
They can't.
I mean, they couldn't paint the hostages in a good light. I was amazed at. I didn't think I did a Periscope on that. But the North and South Korea reunification, I mean, that's huge. That war's been going on since the 50s.
They haven't had a formal peace treaty since 1950s.
Right, and I know today there were some stories about North Korea reneging on the agreement, but I'm not. I'm giving that the
Yeah,
24
because
hour
like we
rule.
said that in the last Ides last month in the Ides of April,
Give it the 24-hour rule.
maybe even 48 hours
Yeah.
sometimes, especially over a weekend, because it's a blaring red headline on Drudge, and it's just to get you to click on it. And there's probably something there where somebody said, you know what, they're probably going to withdraw.
Right. I think that
I didn't
tomorrow.
even click on it. I don't even know what it said.
I didn't click on it either, but when they do issue a correction or an update tomorrow, I'm going to link to this Periscope and then I'm going to put the update because I just kind of sense that a correction is coming. Kind of getting used to it. That's kind of the norm now, not the
Oh, and
not
that's
the
the thing is,
exception.
I've always felt that I can look through the flack and what's happening, but we need to remember there's a lot of people out there. You guys got to remember, don't. This is all designed to keep you down and keep you depressed about
Demoralized.
and make you think it's worse than it is. And it's just like leading up to the election of Trump.
Yeah.
We were on pins and needles, and there were
Right.
some people that were like, I think he's got this, and I thought he had a good chance, but I wasn't sure. And when I started watching that night, I was so super excited, and then ever since then, the media is just that daily
Yeah.
daily beating the drum of how bad he is and how nobody likes him, and everybody knows he's made a mistake. We made a mistake in putting him there. We've got to remember and stay positive. He's still got that support. He has not lost that connection with his voters, and he might even be getting some more voters.
Right. And with all the good things that are going on right now, today I read that the unemployment rate is now 3.9%. It hasn't been that since 2000. 2 million people in 2017 are no longer getting food stamps. Like
And
Lou said, the Dow, was it the Dow
the
Jones you
Dow
were talking
is
about?
back up. I mean, it was already up huge, and it had some ups and downs this year, but that's going to happen with what's all, so things got to shake up. I mean, the way he's pushed China and the way he's pushed North Korea and Iran and the European allies.
Right, right.
So he's letting people know that he's going to do what he said.
Right.
He's backing it up.
Did I
every
title
time.
this he's running out of promises?
Yeah,
I meant to
that's
say
it.
that at the
Right.
beginning. Trump's running out of promises to keep. Rush Limbaugh said that on his show this week.
Which I think was I think it was yesterday. And that's true. He's running out of promises to keep, and so he's going to have to start promising some more stuff.
Right.
There's still some things to get done for sure.
The wall being the biggest one,
yes.
immigration and not passing DACA. But I don't think we could have ever foreseen that we would have had a president that would do so much. And never in my, I knew that when President Trump got elected that he was going to occasionally from time to time disappoint us, but he didn't. It blows my mind. He's done way more than George Bush did, George W.
God.
And he's done way more than. Can you imagine if Jeb Bush or?
Oh shoot.
I mean, even Ted Cruz, God bless him. I don't, I don't think that he had the.
None of them had the fortitude
and the negotiation skills. I mean, his book, The Art of the Deal. I think a lot of people don't understand how important that is to Trump getting things done. I think it was CNN or somebody from CNN said, "What if, the North Korean Kim Jong-un? What if you need a madman to?"
Oh, I can't. I saw that. I can't remember who said that, but it's like they understand them better. Which and it's going to this whole. There's people arguing on Twitter about diplomacy's an art, and you've got to have, what is the word?
It would have been gravitas.
Yeah, it would have been gravitas. No, you got to have subtlety and all this other stuff. I'm going, nuance. Just freaking. That's what I've always been frustrated with, going back for years when I would just think about stuff happening. Why can't we just say what we mean?
Right.
Why can't we just say, look, this is what we've got to do?
Well, I think that's
what we're going to do.
Why we like Trump so much is because
plain talk.
He talks off the cuff. And that's what his tweets are about. Like, you feel like you can always tell when somebody else is tweeting his tweets because they're basic, boring. I think most of the time he does them, but we like that direct. He talks like what we're just sitting here having a conversation.
And you brought up George Bush, he never did a lot of the things that Trump is doing now, and some of the stuff even George Bush said he would have done, but where was he? And a big thing that's always stuck with me, and Trump does now. I wish Trump would do more. Is defend his followers.
Yeah.
Because Bush did not do that. Because when people were attacking Bush, they were attacking us.
Right.
And he did not answer any of it.
And so
so
Trump's answering his, like the criticisms of him, but the people out in the streets that are wearing MAGA hats that are just getting beat to a pulp just because they're wearing a MAGA hat.
I saw the story today about the guy in Florida.
Cheesecake Factory.
I mean, that's.
And
why does that story not blow up except on Twitter?
And that it would blow up if it were the opposite, if it was the Trump supporter that had beat somebody up, and that's going to make CNN, and they're going to go to Trump and they're going to ask him to disavow. The mainstream media is not going to go to Trump and say anything about the violence that's going on against Trump supporters. So I do wish that Trump would call out the violence, because if you call it out and shame them, maybe we can begin to put a stop to it. It's only going to escalate it until we do. But this is mainly about all the good news that the mainstream media won't tell you, and we're going to keep doing this on the Ides of every month.
Next time there probably won't be bagpipes in the background, but some people are practicing across the lake over here.
Every Tuesday night. Hopefully the Ides next month won't fall on it.
June 13th is the Ides next month.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss and keep discussing what the mainstream media won't, because I think one thing that we've learned this year is that the mainstream media is no longer in control, and there needs to be more voices out there getting this message out that they refuse to cover, because they don't set the narrative. Even though they're not covering things, or even though they're spinning their fake news, nobody's believing them. So you and I have to do the Fourth Estate's job for them, and while we still have the freedom of the internet. And I don't know if you saw on Twitter where they've got new rules. We'll have to talk about that later.
Well, and even Twitter's going to throttle us and slow
basically what
down.
they're going to be doing is shadow banning. Now it's not going to be a bug, it's a feature. But
wow.
They don't say that, but that's what I took from it. But anyway, we just wanted to bring everyone good news of what's going on with Trump, some of the synchronous events that have happened in the past on the Ides, and I can't wait to see what interesting things are going to
Next 4 weeks. I'm thinking this week, along with on the front with the
OIG report,
with the not so special counsel.
Oh yeah.
That's going on, and the OIG report that's coming, and Bob Mueller, man, these guys. I'm really hoping that by the end of this year, a lot of these people are going down, because we can't have our republic if a lot of people don't pay a price for what they've done.
Right, and that's another thing mainstream media won't talk about, and it's huge. This Mueller that he indicted, the proverbial, there's that cliche about the government could, if they wanted to, invite the proverbial ham sandwich.
Indict a ham
and
sandwich.
They did. And they're not covering that. But the fact that happened tells me we're on the downside of this whole farce of an investigation. It's not an investigation. It's a takedown. It's a
huge setup.
Yeah. And hopefully soon Flynn will be redeemed. Man, wouldn't that be great?
You know what? Maybe by the end of the year, before Christmas, Flynn can be redeemed, and then
I'm hoping it'll
get
be before that.
A spot back in the back end government.
After the OIG report, it may happen faster than we think.
We need this man back serving the United States.
We do.
And for what has happened to him, what's been done to his family, and not just him, but people that we don't even know their names. So what's going on? They're just
if they've done that to him, who else have they done it to? But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and hopefully you'll tune in next time on June the 13th for the Ides of June edition and talk about more good news.
See ya.
All right.